if it's good enough to live by, it's good enough to die by. Mama has always told me that. I don't know what it means, so I just ignore it. My name is Sarah. They say it was a cold day in 1782 when I was born. I'm not surprised. It seems like November is always cold in Maine. I'll bet it was sunny, though, and looked just like today. The fields alive with color, folks scurrying about, digging potatoes, tagging the perfect pumpkin for pie, planning the baking schedule. Next week is Thanksgiving, a day for family, neighbors, friends, stories, and of course, devotions. Sarah, have you finished your chores? Mama asked. It looks like you're daydreaming again. The boys and your papa will be in soon, and we haven't started on dinner yet. Mama was right. I was dreaming. I'm anxious for Thanksgiving to get here so I can learn about our new school in Bowden. Mama and Papa teach me things from the books they have, but just think what I could learn at school. I hope I can go. After all, I am the oldest and the boys are too young for school learning. I remember that day as if it were yesterday. I was so eager to learn. Here it is, August 30th, 1882, and the children have come from afar to celebrate my 100th birthday. After a birthday kiss on the cheek, they all ask for a story. With my eyesight, I can't see them as good as I used to, so I'm happy to tell them what I can remember. I did go to that little school, not every day, but when I was able. There were so many chores to be done, and sometimes the weather prevented me from getting to the schoolhouse. Mama and Papa continued to teach me at home. My favorite subject was geology, and I learned all about the first 13 states. I was 7 years old when the first United States president was inaugurated. The teacher would ask me what his name was. I always stood up straight and said, "George Washington." "What? Oh, yes, child, I miss your grandfather every day. It has been 28 years since he left us. He was a good man. We were so happy and lucky that our parents approved of our marriage. It was August 10th, 1801, not that long after the turn of the century. We knew there would be good times and hard times ahead. We were prepared to meet them all. I was 18 years old, and Grandpa John had recently turned 25. He was a well-established, skilled carpenter by then, and the townsfolk sought him out for their home and farm building work. We raised 9 children together. I'll bargain you didn't know that we had children in handmade diapers for almost 30 years. Yes, I spun and wove all of the cloth for those diapers, and I made sure they were a good fit for you. That might have been part of the hard times, yet I wouldn't change it at all. Mother, my eldest daughter said, we hate to interrupt. Our host, that nice young man from the newspaper, wants to give a little speech in your honor. Mrs. Small, ladies and gentlemen, he said, we are here to honor the centenarian in our midst, an honorable, hard-working, generous woman, Mrs. Sarah Jacques Small. Mrs. Small has lived a contemporary life with all the great events and discoveries of modern times that have benefited the world. Did you know that she was 50 years old before railroads operated in America? She kept house for many years before the first steamships crossed the ocean. Mrs. Small lived more than half a century before cook stoves came into use or sewing machines were invented. She lighted the fires for many years with her flint and steel before a friction match was known. She made all the cloth for domestic use. Her loom and spinning wheel are in the family home today. Mrs. Small was well into her 90s when she spun over 300 skeins of yarn and wove 20 yards of cloth, all wool. After a few more facts and tales about Sarah's earlier years, the newspaper man introduced her family to the gathering and sat down. It was a good day. 2 years later, the newspaper reported, Mrs. Sarah Small recently passed her 102nd birthday, but retains her mental faculties to a remarkable degree. Her friends took notice of the occasion by calling upon her during the afternoon of her birthday. In 1885, when she was 103 years old, Sarah's family insisted that she sit for a studio photograph. I believe she was quite amused at all of the fuss surrounding this event. The day of her 104th birthday, Sarah's Universalist clergyman asked her what she thought about being a great age. I'm sure she first told him that it wasn't much different than being 100 or 103. At her funeral 8 months later, he quoted her as saying, "It was good enough to live by," and she thought, good enough to die by, too.